With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. I'm here with Interim Town Manager Tom Lynch, and we're going to preview tonight's Town Council meeting. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Terrific.
So, a relatively short agenda for tonight's Town Council meeting, which is definitely a good thing when you want to get some work done. What can we anticipate tonight?
Well, there'll be a proclamation on Peace Week, and I understand you'll be hearing later about that from Jan Barton, who's been very involved with this. And that's Peace Week in itself has always been, a nice event, and you see how students get involved in, trying to have our world be a better place to live and broaden their horizons in terms of thinking about that. So there'll be that proclamation read. Under old business, we'll be looking again at the mitigation multi-hazard mitigation program that we've had on the agenda for a while. There were some questions raised about how it would be administered in certain portions of that ordinance. So whether or not we've been able to answer those questions, we'll see, but that's on the agenda. And then under new business, we have an amendment to the administrative code for the water board that would change the composition a little bit. It's only up for a first reading, so there'll be a public hearing on November 3rd. And under that provision, they're looking to change the membership so that they can have a business owner, but that from Hyannis, but that person may not be necessarily a resident of the village of Hyannis. So that's a change in that code.
Sure, and that's just a first reading for that.
That's just a first reading.
So more than likely will not be acted on
not acted
tonight.
There is an interesting resolve that's come before us to approve a House bill that's up for debate, and that would extend the period of time that military and overseas individuals would have to express their vote in the presidential election. So it would move the state primary from September back into June and give a good 45 days so that individuals would be able to vote overseas by absentee ballot. So that might gender some discussion, and it's not exactly a local issue, but it clearly affects people that are serving overseas and whatever.
And I think the thought, too, Tom, on that is also some money savings for the town by consolidating those elections. I think the estimated savings is about $30,000 for our election cycle, which saving money is always a good thing.
Always a good thing. And then we do have our annual snow and ice account that we put on the section overdraft notice. The only municipal account where you can run a deficit in is in snow and ice, and but we like to appropriate around $600,000 in anticipation of what's going to happen. We don't like to be sitting here in October thinking about snow and ice days, but they're coming.
They're coming,
and we can spend anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million as we have in past years, and so we show the council what we've generally spent, and this is prudent planning ahead. So Mark Ells, our director of DPW, will be here to talk about that, and hopefully that'll get approved by the council. I can say that, looking ahead to November 3rd, we will have a tax factor workshop in effect, and that's always something that takes a while to go through, but that needs to be adopted. So there'll be a workshop on the 3rd, and then the second meeting in November will be hopefully adoption of that. And we're also planning on having an update on the new Mass Health Reform Insurance Act that went through. There are steps the council will have to take in early January, but we want to keep them informed as they go along the way, and the council president asked that we give an update, so we're preparing that.
Sure. Now, you say the tax factor. Is that when the town decides whether to do the split tax or the flat tax?
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
We'll keep our eyes on town council tonight. It meets 7 p.m. right here in the second floor hearing room, and you can view it live, Channel 18, 7 p.m. I'm here with Steve Brown and Jan Barton. They are co-chairs on the Barnstable United, which is a No Place for Hate community, and we're talking about Peace Week. Of course, Peace Week is going to kick off at Town Council meeting tonight with a proclamation. So let's talk a little bit first about Barnstable United. Steve, what can you tell me about Barnstable United?
Well, Barnstable United is part of the statewide and actually national No Place for Hate Communities network. Starting with the Peace Committee, and then became a No Place for Hate community. And just more recently, we wanted to actually say what we did. and besides just being no place for hate. So the group renamed it Barnstable United, a no place for hate community, to indicate that our basic work is to bring the community together around nonviolence, around creating sustainable systems of compassion and civility in the town.
Wonderful. It seems like definitely a necessary thing, especially in these times that we've been going through. Jan, what can you tell me about Peace Week itself?
Well, Peace Week started about 5 years ago. We thought it would be a good idea that to spend this October's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, among other things, and we thought it would be a good idea just to highlight and focus on, or just to get everybody kind of thinking about what they're doing on a daily basis to help create a stronger community. And we thought this was we like to be, we're an all-volunteer group. Various members of the community, schools, police, etc. And we thought it would be a positive way to reinforce what we're trying to do in terms of raising awareness and education.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about the Peace Week activities. And either one of you can tell me how does it begin? Obviously, with the town council meeting tonight, the kickoff.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Every year we read the proclamation that started it off 5 years ago. As Steve said, we've been doing this for over a decade. Various of these activities, and we're pulling them together. Friday, October 21st. We're going to be having our kickoff with our Youth at Mall Night, which focuses on positive alternatives for young people, and that's been going, and human service agencies that help young people. And we are very excited to be able to have the White Ribbon Campaign kickoff at the mall at 4:45 with Congressman Keating, who has been involved in this for quite some time, and it focuses on domestic violence and preventing that, and focuses even more closely on what men can do to help protect women. We realize domestic violence affects both men and women adversely. However, statistics show that it's more predominant men versus women, and we want to focus again on the positive of all the men that are doing the right things to protect women in our community. And so we're hoping to get a good turnout there for the White Ribbon Campaign, and that everybody will be wearing the white ribbons. And then we'll have the Youth at Mall Night, which focuses on youth activities.
I'm looking forward to this. Diane Soom, who's a human rights activist who lives here on the Cape, and I are getting together to present a forum at the Youth and Community Center, United Cultures Resource Room at 4 o'clock on the 25th. And the title of this forum is Environmental Justice. And we'll be discussing what is environmental justice and how it relates to the broader topic of social justice, and ties right in with everything that Peace Week was about, which is getting the community to pull together to make things better for everyone who lives on Cape Cod. Diane is an international human rights activist who has worked in Nepal on human trafficking and at Boston College on political asylum seeking, and she's a wonderful colleague. She co-chairs with me the Social Justice Committee at the Barnstable Unitarian Church. So we'll be showing a short film called The Story of Stuff, and then Diane will lead a short conversation on how this applies at the international level, and then I'll be engaging a dialogue on how it applies here at the local level.
And obviously this is to bring awareness to uniting the community and to thinking of peace and things like that. But what advice do you have to people to continue on that feeling outside of just Peace Week?
Well, I'm thinking that peace is not just the absence of war and the absence of violence. Peace has to be actively pursued on a personal, internal level, on a family level, at a community level. And it's challenging and it's complex sometimes, but we're putting together opportunities here throughout Peace Week for people to actually move from thinking about peace to doing something.
Great. Well, Jan, Steve, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for promoting peace here in town, and we'll look forward to all the activities coming up for this Peace Week.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Again, I've been joined by Jan Barton and Steve Brown, co-chairs of Barnstable United, a No Place for Hate community. I'm Sarah Colvin. This is Barnstable Today.